And since 1959, Calgary is the setting for the Labor Day Classic, the CFL on CBC. The true Battle of Alberta began decades ago with the Stampeders and Eskimos in this classic football game where ordinary men became heroes and legends were born.
Boone throwing, touchdown!
In this province, Labor Day means football, and these two storied teams continue to do battle in the single most important game of the season.
Protect each other's backs. Get on board. Make it happen tonight. Make it happen tonight.
The 2006 Classic is no exception, as Edmonton and Calgary line up one more time. September brings a new season, and struggling teams are offered new life.
We're still Grey Cup champ. We got to defend this thing.
It's Canadian football at its finest. Throw the records away. This is Labor Day, and the past comes to life in the CFL. It doesn't seem to matter how the teams are playing. The Eskimos 3-6, the Stampeders 6-4. This is the one that counts. The Labor Day Battle of Alberta between Edmonton and Calgary. They've been tailgating since early this morning at McMahon Stadium, and for the 14th time in 15 years, going back to 1992, it'll be a very noisy sellout. Hi everyone, I'm Steve Armitage along with Harry Jones, and welcome to the CFL on CBC and the first of our Labor Day doubleheader. Harry, the Eskimos are struggling, but they're coming off a 17-day break. Does that mean they're rusty or polished?
I think they're going to come out polished. I mean, this team is an unfamiliar 3-6. They lost a heartbreaking game to the BC Lions, and they just want to come out and play good. The last thing they needed was time to practice and everything. They needed time off, time to rest their bodies, and I think they're going to do all right.
The Eskimos are led by Ricky Ray, but before we get to Ricky Ray, this is a flyby from Captain Snell and Captain Scott in a pair of CF-18s out of Cold Lake, Alberta. Whoa! 409 Nighthawks Tactical Squadron, and that, folks, was noisy. We were talking about Ricky Ray before we were interrupted, the #1 passer in the CFL.
You know, Ricky Ray is playing good football. I mean, he's doing the things that he needs to do. He is throwing the ball to the people he needs to. I think the big problem is they're starting off with bad field position, and they're having to make 12 and 15-play drives just to score, and that's the thing that they haven't been doing.
The Stampeders are on a roll. They have won 3 in a row, and they're led by Henry Burris, who is the CFL's Player of the Month.
Henry Burris is playing probably the best of any quarterback in the league right now. I mean, he is making great decisions out there. The first 7 games, I think he was trying a little too hard. He was trying to make all the plays himself. Now he's trusting his receivers. He's doing the things that he needs to do, and it shows with those last 3 wins.
Well, after that thunderous flyby, let's see if you can make some thunder with your Rona game notes.
All right, let's go. We start with the Edmonton offense. City of Troy. This team needs to get the ball in the hands of Troy Davis. Ricky Ray leads the league in passing yards, and they have 3 wins to show for it. Get the ball to Troy Davis. On defense, don't gamble with your future. The Edmonton D will take chances. They'll blitz. They'll bring everyone up, but they've been burned with big plays all year. They must limit the plays over 20 yards. And for Calgary, on offense, decisions. Henry Burris has to make good decisions throughout this game. When to run, when to throw it away, when to go for it. First 7 games, he didn't make the best decision for his teams. Last 3 games, he's made great decisions. Can he continue that today? And on defense, the A-team. And I'm not talking about Mr. T. The A-team consists of Khalid Abdullah and Cornelius Anthony. These 2 linebackers have been playing big. Let's see if they can do it week in and week out.
The weather today, the record high for this day in Calgary, 30 degrees Celsius, back in the 20s. It's 25 right now, feels like 30. No wind to speak of. In a word, perfect. Danny Machocha, the head coach of the Edmonton Eskimos, has a team that's 3-6, but is convinced if 3 plays went the other way, his club could well be 6-3. He's 1-0 as the Eskimos head coach on Labor Day. And this Labor Day Classic is underway. Ruffin at the 25, 30, tripped up and around the 33-yard line, and that's where the Calgary Stampeders, who elected to take the football on the kickoff, will start. Tom Higgins, the former head coach of the Eskimos, is 3-2 on this day, but has a team that's coming off back-to-back wins over Montreal and says his team is confident, not cocky. And the Stampeders led on offense by Henry Burris, as we mentioned, the CFL's Offensive Player of the Month. A well-deserved honor coming off back-to-back wins over Montreal.
Henry Burris has been making very good decisions, and you expect that to continue today. He's kind of a wave player. He's one of those guys that once he gets on a roll, he just keeps on going.
Mathieu Bertrand is the injured Edmonton Eskimo player, that coming off the opening kickoff. And Gahari, whenever an injury happens, you don't like to see it, especially on the opening play of the game.
No, not the opening kickoff. These guys, they have their motors running so high right now. The main thing they want to do is get the game going. You know, you get that first play out of the way, and you're ready to go. And now, definitely unfortunate any time, but especially at the beginning of the game like this.
This is the third meeting of the season between the Eskimos and Stampeders on June 17th here at McMahon. The Stamps won at 24-14. On June 24th at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton, it was the Eskimos winning a thriller, 18-14. You're watching the CFL on. Welcome back to Calgary. First quarter action, and on the very first play of the game, the opening kickoff, Mathieu Bertrand, the fullback out of Laval University, the former quarterback, shaken up on the play.
You know, most very good players have played quarterback at some time in their career. You got Jermaine Copeland on the other side, and hopefully he'll be back in this game. Big part of what Edmonton does.
First and 10 for the Stampeders. First possession of the game from their own 33. They fake it. Burris has time. He's going to run it. He's got a lot of room, and he comes up just shy at the midfield stripe. What an opening play for Henry Burris.
Fantastic play to start with. You get Henry Burris, especially in a full stadium, using his feet initially. He makes a great move at the beginning of that play, as you'll see here. Great play on the DN, stops his feet, and then just uses his legs. I think this goes a long way into what he can do.
So that was a gain of 18 for the Stampeders. And now first and 10 from their own 51. They give to Reynolds. Joffrey Reynolds, first carry of the game. Let's take a look at that Calgary offense.
For Calgary offense, it starts with Burris, but Reynolds, he had a couple of off games against Montreal. Look for him to be a big part of what they do today. Going to the receivers, you have 4 number 1 receivers here. Kenyon Rambo was big last game. Who's going to show up this game and be big for this one? An offensive line, you got one new guy with Lynham taking over for Pilon. Let's see if Edmonton tries to challenge him early.
A gain of 1 on that last play for the Stampeders, so it'll be 2nd and 9 from the 52. Opening quarter, no score. 3 receivers, 4 receivers wide left. Burris with time, airing it out, looking deep. And he was hoping to hook up with Marcus Howell, who has a ton of speed, but it was overthrown. Let's check the Eskimos' defense.
The Eskimo defense, we start with the defensive line. These guys had a really great game against BC Lions, starting with Charles Alston with 3 sacks in that game. The linebackers, it's all about A.J. Gass. First game back, starting after having a hamstring problem. Let's see how he does in there. And defensive backs, veteran group, Garrett and Frank. These guys only have 5 interceptions this year so far.
First punt of the afternoon for Burke Dales, averaging over 45 yards a kick. This is Mookie Mitchell for the Eskimos, trying to find some running room, crosses the 32-33-yard line, where Ricky Ray and the Eskimos offense will have first possession, a 40-yard punt and a 19-yard return.
See if Ricky Ray can keep the consistency going that he had in the first half. Basically, they just need to convert the yards they're getting into points.
#1 passer in the CFL, 320 attempts, 225 completions, clicking at a 70% passing rate. From the shotgun, 1st and 10 Eskimos. From their own 32. Ray has time. He's going to leg it. We saw Burris do that with their first possession, and Ricky Ray decides to do the same thing. Khalid Abdullah in on the tackle for the Stamps.
These teams look like carbon copies of each other. Both of them come out with play action passes. Ricky Ray is underrated as a runner. He can move, and when he gets to top speed, he is very effective getting outside.
A gain of 11 on this one for Ricky Ray before being brought down by Abdullah. So it's 1st and 10 Eskimos from their own 43. Davis. And Davis tripped up at the 50-yard line again by Abdullah. Let's check this Edmonton offense.
For the Edmonton offense, Troy Davis is going to be a big key. You saw a nice run right there. Troy Davis is going to have to get the ball this game. And we know what a big play receiver Tucker is. I feel like Herbie is going to be one of the main guys that they use today. He's feeling very healthy right now. And the big story on the offensive line, Roundtree is in, Comiskey is out. Look for Calgary to test Roundtree early.
And Woodcock is into the game for the Eskimos. A pickup of 7 on the last one. It is 2nd and 3 from the 50. Ray, a man wide open. Mookie Mitchell. Let's check the Calgary defense. It didn't do a very good job on Mitchell that time.
The Calgary defense starts up front. Raheem Abdullah, Demetrius Maxey, 13th year, 5 sacks so far. You go to the linebacking crew, you know the A-team, but it all starts with Brian Clark in the middle. And the defensive back, young group, Kobe Reinhardt leads this team with 47 tackles.
Pickup of 17 on that last play. It's 1st and 10 Eskimos from the 43. Ray with time, completes. Mookie Mitchell again.
What I see from this Calgary defense so far is they're playing a lot of zone coverage. They're saying beat us underneath, doing the same things that a lot of teams have been doing to Edmonton Eskimos this year.
A gain of 12. 1st and 10 Eskimos from the 31-yard line at the Stampeders. No score, opening quarter here at McMahon Stadium in Calgary. Ricky Ray from the shotgun. Little play action to Davis. He's under pressure, and he throws it away as he's going down, and a flag is down.
Oh, great pressure on Ricky Ray on that play. He didn't see anyone. He was just trying to throw it over the line of scrimmage. But, hey, when there's no receiver around, you're going to get called for that.
No
one.
infraction on the play. Pass crossed the line of scrimmage. 2nd down.
My mistake, he did get it past the line of scrimmage. So let's go back. Good play by Ricky Ray to get that ball across. Demetrius Maxey coming in with Cornelius Anthony helping him out. And then, Demetrius Maxey finishes that up very nicely.
That's the mark of a veteran quarterback. Ricky Ray's move on that last play. It is now 2nd and 10 for the Eskimos from the 31-yard line of Calgary. Ray has that one almost picked off. He was looking for Woodcock, but Williams was right there.
Williams played that beautifully. I mean, he came in, he saw Woodcock doing a little in route towards the receiver, toward the quarterback, and he just jumped on the route. You see here, he probably should have had that interception.
So that'll bring on Sean Fleming.
The Eskimos look to score first with Sean Fleming.
Fleming has been good on 14 of 18 field goals, his longest 47 yards. So this is well within Fleming's range. This one coming from the 38-yard line. And the Eskimos jump out to a 3-0 lead early in the first quarter in the Labor Day Classic. You're watching the CFL on a packed house here at McMahon Stadium in Calgary on a beautiful afternoon for football. and this Labor Day Classic between the Eskimos and the Stampeders. Edmonton up 3-0 on a field goal from Sean Fleming. 1st and 10 for the Stamps from their own 35. A little play action from Burris. Under pressure, still under pressure, all the way back just over the 10-yard line, and then fires downfield, throwing that one away.
You saw A.J. Gass make a stunt. He came out off the outside on there and came in free, but I still think his hamstring might be hurting him a little bit. You see A.J. Gass coming off the edge. Henry Burris keeps moving, get away from him, and then there's a little hitch in his giddy-up out there.
Hitch in his giddy-up. I like that. That's a real Alberta, Southern Alberta expression.
Hey.
Little hitch in his giddy-up. 2nd and 10 for the Stamps from the 35. Burris out of the shotgun. Flags are down. Burris looking deep. He's got his man open, Elijah Thurman, but we'll have to see if the flag brings that one back. Frank was covering on the play.
Looked like it was going to be offsides against Edmonton on that. Looked like Gass got over the line a little bit, but maybe somebody on Calgary's offensive line moved. I thought it was a great job by Henry Burris to use his cadence.
Here's Bud Steen.
Offside. Calgary number 82. It's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Nick Lewis guilty of the offside, and that will nullify a pass to Elijah Thurman.
$500 for every Calgary Stampeder field goal to local children's charities. And so far this year, Cardell's
Henry looks like he's in a good flow of the game right now.
Cardell Holmes taking part in
Even though that play didn't count, it was a very nice pitch and catch by Henry Burris.
Now 2nd and 15 from the 30. 6 receivers for Burris out of the shotgun. Under pressure, and lose one man. The legs got him out of harm's way there. He was looking for Ralph, but it's incomplete.
Henry Burris is going to be tired after this game. I mean, every time it looks like a new guy is coming in free. That time J.R. LaRose gets through the edge. They came out in a 6-receiver set. So when you're in 6 receivers, you don't have a back behind you to protect you. And anybody coming free, that's your man as the quarterback.
When we talked to Danny Machocha yesterday, he said that was one of the keys. They had to get pressure on Burris. They couldn't allow him to use his feet, and that's what he's tried to do to this point in the opening quarter. Burkdale set to punt. It'll come from his 20. Tompkins, the lone man back, and Tompkins is going to get a chance to return this at 35. Trying to get up to the 40, does, where Ricky Ray and the Eskimos will scrimmage 1st and 10, a 44-yard punt and a 4-yard return. Welcome back to Calgary, 1st and 10 Eskimos, and Ricky Ray is going deep, and he was looking way downfield for Ed Hervey, and it was overthrown. Hervey would have had to have a jetpack on to get to that one.
Talking to Hervey yesterday, I got a chance to talk to him, and he said this is the first time since before training camp that he's felt 100% healthy. You see Ricky Ray get hit on that play. I think that's going to be a big matchup this game. Hervey and Reinhardt.
2nd and 10 Eskimos, who lead 3-0. The ball at the 40. Ray had time. Going back to that well, and this one is complete to Gaylor. Gaylor tied up at the 32-yard line.
Fantastic play. Trevor Gaylor, a big body out there. They put him in on the outside instead of Hervey this time. And Ricky Ray goes right back to it. He sees something he likes. He sees man-to-man coverage, takes a big hit. The safety can't get over to the ball. Trevor Gaylor comes up with a big play.
Only Gaylor's 13th reception of the season. Came in with 159 yards. So it's 1st and 10 for the Eskimos after that 38-yard pickup from the Stampeders' 32-yard line. Ray running out of time. Patrick there for the sack. And for Terrence Patrick, his 4th sack of the year.
That is three plays in a row that they have gotten to Ricky Ray. I mean, these guys are coming with different kinds of stunts. You see Brian Clark coming from the outside. Patrick gets through in the middle. He has one-on-one blocking. They're just winning the battle up front right now.
A loss of 9, 2nd and 19 now for the Eskimos. And they're back at the Stampeders' 41.5-yard line. Ricky Ray out of the shotgun. Ray eludes one tackle, but can't get by the second one. Cornelius Anthony over to make the stop.
Edmonton Eskimos in a 4-1 set. They've been using it a lot. Try to roll Ricky Ray out, but these guys are just too speedy. Cornelius Anthony, we talked about, part of that A-team. Gets around that edge. He comes from all the way over from the backside to make that play. Incredible athletic play by Anthony.
A loss of 4 on the play. 3rd and 23. That brings on Sean Fleming, the punter. And this punt will come from the midfield stripe. High spiral. And Marcus Howell makes the catch. So when we come back, Henry Burris and the Stampeders will go on offense. You're watching the CFL on CBC. To McMahon Stadium in Calgary. Eskimos leading the Stampeders 3-0 on a Sean Fleming field goal. Special welcome to our international viewers this afternoon, especially those in Chicago and Illinois, Indiana and Iowa, along with those in Philadelphia, Southern New Jersey, and the state of Pennsylvania. And to all our troops, men and women, serving overseas on this day. Our thoughts are with you. It is 1st and 10 for Henry Burris and the Stampeders offense from the 12-yard line. Out of the shotgun. The pitch to Joffrey Reynolds. Running room on the left side. Reynolds dragged down at about the 48-49-yard line.
Joffrey Reynolds hit the edge on that play and just looked like he got shot out of a cannon. I mean, it was 2 tight ends. Both teams are using formations all over the place. He gets that in, they secure it, and he makes it happen. They say his speed has gotten even faster from last year. If you look, Joffrey Reynolds has had some great games this year. Edmonton, Saskatchewan, Hamilton, again Saskatchewan, all over 100 yards. Much less carries than Charles Roberts at this point also.
A 35-yard pickup. Burris still on his feet and slides for the first down on the far side of the field.
You can tell Burris wants this game. I mean, this guy is moving his feet everywhere. I'm almost afraid that in the 4th quarter he's going to be a little tired from all of this moving. But what I'm seeing is teams are using formations, and both defenses are doing a lot of stunts up front and getting free guys. Charbonneau, you see on that play, gets free. Henry has to use his feet. Same thing goes for both teams right now. They're going to have to find a way to block for their quarterback.
Henry just misjudging his slide ever so slightly by about a half a yard. So let's make it 2nd and 1 for the Stampeders from the 54-yard line. Danny Machocha feeling the heat in Edmonton. There have been those who suggested that perhaps it was time for Machocha to exit. Of course, the Eskimos say no way. How can you go from winning the Grey Cup one year and being a bad coach the next? Yes, there may have been a few questionable coaching decisions, but is that reason enough to fire the coach of the Grey Cup champions? Obviously, Hugh Campbell and those in charge in Edmonton say no, not yet. 2nd and 1 for the Stampeders from the 54. To Cates, and it'll be close. Signor Mobley there to make the stop.
Signor Mobley.
There is a flag in the Eskimo secondary.
Guy's a very good veteran in this league. You see he reads the play. Oh, just makes the kind of tackle you dream about. Every year they try to bring in people to take this guy's.
Unnecessary roughness. Edmonton 25, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Boy, that's a big one. Johnny Buell, a 15-yard penalty against the Eskimos.
As a young guy, your first Labor Day game, you cannot do something like that, especially after a big stop. Just erases all of the momentum from Signor Mobley's hit.
First and 10, Stampeders at the Eskimo 39.
That moves the ball down to the 39-yard line where the Stamps are now first and 10, trailing 3-0. 3:47 to play, opening quarter. They pitch to Reynolds. Reynolds cuts it up. Reynolds still on his feet. Down just outside the 30-yard line.
Joffrey Reynolds has that combination of strength and speed that you like to see in a running back. And you saw it all in that play. He had speed to get to the outside. Look at him break that tackle by J.R. LaRose. Jump up and get 8 yards.
This drive for the Stampeders started from their own 12-yard line. It's now 2nd and 2 from the Eskimos 31. Out of the shotgun. 4 receivers wide right. Burris with time, just dumps it over the middle and completes it to Cates. Cates down inside the 20.
A little crossing route by Cates. The line did a fantastic job on that play. I know Chris Walby would be proud. You see the center, finds inside guy, they slide protect. Dixon has to make a nice open field tackle to stop that from being even a bigger play.
Speaking of the big guy, Chris Walby on the mend, in rehab, getting that knee back in shape. Hurry up, big guy, we need you, we miss you.
Definitely.
1st and 10 for the Stamps. They give to Reynolds. Reynolds down inside the 15-yard line. Mobley there to make the tackle.
There's Reynolds again making something out of nothing. I mean, they should have had him in the backfield. There's one man, one-on-one. Usually expect the guy to make that tackle, but against Joffrey Reynolds, no one has been able to make it so far, so I don't know why you would expect it, really.
A pickup of 4, 2nd and 6, and they spot it at the Eskimos 15. 6 receivers, 3 to the right, 3 to the left. And flags fly.
Looked like Jay McNeil got off a little quick on that one.
Legal procedure. Calgary, number 50, 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
When you have 6 receivers out there, those linemen know that they have to be thinking because there's no running back in the backfield to help them out. So he's already moving, already thinking about where he's going to have to go if that defensive line and linebackers do any stunts.
So that'll make it 2nd and 11 from the 20. Again, 6 receivers. Burris out of the shotgun. Fires, and it's almost picked off. He was looking for Nick Lewis, his go-to guy through the middle, but it's incomplete.
Mobley comes back to help out his halfback on that play, Jonte Buell. See Mobley read the play, read the route. Jonte Buell makes a great jump on the ball. Again, Henry Burris was lucky that that ball was not intercepted. Jonte Buell trying to make up for the 15-yard penalty and stops them from scoring a touchdown.
So that will bring on Sandro DeAngelis, the Stampeders place kicker. And this one will come from the 27-yard line. His longest of the year was a game winner, 53 yards against the Riders. A chip shot for Sandro DeAngelis, and we have 59 seconds remaining to play in the opening quarter and a 3-3 tie.
Every successful Stampeder field goal, Cardell Homes donates $500 to local children's charities. So far, they've donated.
Sandro DeAngelis gets a nice little chip shot. I mean, this guy has confidence to burn.
Good job, D.
36,000 plus here on hand at McMahon Stadium. Don't forget, next week, CFL on CBC. we've got this same matchup, Toronto at Hamilton, but the Labor Day Classic at Ivor Wynne starts at 6 Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific.
Remember Sandro DeAngelis coming off of 2 big 50-yard plus field goals in the first win against Montreal. He's got to work on the dancing though, I think.
Boy, they come in all shapes and sizes and colors in this game. Mostly red and white and green and gold. It's a fun afternoon here in Calgary. Always has been. Great tradition. Tremendous rivalry. DeAngelis kicking off following that field goal. Tompkins crosses the 30, at the 40, and finally brought down at the 45-yard line. Well, there's no question the Eskimos need big plays. Here's the head coach, Danny Majocha.
We're only a year removed where Ricky had 22 or 23 interceptions, and there were times where I felt and he felt that we were trying to force the issue by throwing the ball downfield. So you got to be careful, and sometimes the last thing you want to do is just go out there and show people that you can throw the ball vertically downfield and find yourself with 5 or 6 interceptions at the end of the game.
It is such a fine line as a quarterback to know when to put the ball downfield and when to just take what the defense is giving you.
Troy Davis up to about the 53, 54-yard line for the Eskimos.
I think what the Eskimos are trying to do now is find that balance. As he talked about last year, Ricky Ray threw a lot of interceptions, but they put more points on the board. This year, not as many points on the board, but not as many interceptions either. So you need to find that fine line in between where you're still moving the ball downfield, throwing it downfield when necessary, and not throwing a whole lot of interceptions also.
Pickup of 9 on that last play. 2nd and 1 for the Eskimos from the 54. We're tied at 3. This should be the last play of the opening quarter. And Ricky Ray with twin tight ends in there decides to keep it himself. Only needed a yard, and he gets it. So when we come back, they'll change ends. The Eskimos will have possession, tied at 3.
And there's a sellout crowd here for this traditional Labor Day game between 2 bitter rivals.
He's going to score again, and the Eskimos have pulled out another victory. Touchdown, Tiger Cats.
The Labor Day Classic in front of 36,000 here at McMahon Stadium. And in the first quarter, the difference there, 75 yards rushing for the Stamps to 28 for the Eskimos. That's got to be the key.
Yeah, that is definitely. Joffrey Reynolds, like I said, we had 2 subpar games against Montreal. Now he's coming out in this game rushing with a vengeance. And Henry Burris is added to that total also.
But it's the Eskimos who had the ball. 1st and 10 from the 54. Ricky Ray looking downfield. And there was no white, green, and gold. He was looking for Gaylor, perhaps.
Ricky Ray throwing incomplete before getting greened by Calgary's Demetrius Maxey. 2nd and 10 Eskimos.
Mitchell back there. Ricky Ray has been getting hit all game long. Did you see this? The inside line is just not holding him up. There's no pocket to step inside. Ricky Ray is one of the most durable quarterbacks in this league, able to take that punishment, but you don't want your quarterback getting hit like that all game long.
2nd and 10 from the 54. Ray with time this time. Gets away a bit of a lame duck, but it's complete to Ed Hervey. Inside the 15-yard line, but there's a flag down.
Ed Hervey has his speed back.
Holding. Edmonton number 64, 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
When things are going badly for your team, these are the type of things that can just kill you. You get a big play like that, one-on-one coverage, he beats Reinhardt. Ricky is able to step into the pocket, but as you see, the reason why he's able to step in the pocket is holding.
Well, it's been that kind of a year for the Eskimos. And those kind of mistakes have cost them. And they cost them there. They are now 2nd and 20, and the ball is moved back to their own 46. Ricky Ray turns and finds Mitchell, but no running room to speak of for Mitchell. Abdullah there to make the stop.
That holding penalty was a 50-yard penalty. I mean, instead of being up in the red zone, now they're punting, and it's a good chance that Calgary is going to come out of this with decent field position. As a group, especially when you're struggling, you cannot make those types of mistakes.
So that will bring on Sean Fleming to punt. 33-yarder the first time out. Howell, the lone receiver for the Stampeders, standing just inside his own 20. Spiral aimed out of play. So when we come back, Henry Burris and the Calgary Stampeders offense will try to break this 3-all tie here in Calgary.
Close.
The Eskimos, Signor Mobley, wearing the CFL on CBC microphone for us today. Signor is mic'd up. There aren't too many that play with too much more intensity than Signor Mobley.
Signor Mobley is as tough as they come. I mean, this guy is going to be 34 in October. And to be moving around and playing like he is, just outstanding.
1st and 10, and they give to Joffrey Reynolds. They start this drive from their own 36-yard line.
I'm sure the Edmonton Eskimos heard a earful over there about the runs that they've been giving up so far. So that defensive line has to get a little tighter in there, like they did on that play, limit those plays to 1 and 2 yards instead of the 8 to 10 yards that they've been getting.
A couple of things that Machochi talked about yesterday. They have to improve their running game and stop the opponent's run. 2nd and 9 for the Stampeders from their own 37. Burris fires over the middle, complete to Copeland. His first catch of the game, still on his feet. Copeland with some room. Copeland knocked out of play at the 16-yard line.
They're a classic case of the Edmonton Eskimos gambling. They bring people off the edge, everybody is one-on-one, and this is not the team to go one-on-one against. I'm telling you, these 4 receivers can play. He gets Jonte Buell on him, one-on-one. Oh, great straight arm to get free, and he knows what to do with the ball in his hands after he gets it.
His longest reception of the year prior to that one was 24 yards. You can add a 57-yarder to his bank account. A 57-yard pickup for the Stamps. 1st and 10, now from the Eskimos' 16-yard line. They give to Joffrey Reynolds, looking for some room on the right side. There is none to be found. Brought down by Signor Mobley.
Formations is one of the things that we talked about earlier. Calgary Stampeders get in a 3 tight end formation on this play, take out most of the wide receivers. Signor Mobley reads the play. He's playing like a man possessed right now.
During their mini slump this season, the Stampeders had trouble inside the red zone or the green zone, whatever you want to call it, inside the 25-yard line, punching it in. They are now 2nd and 9 from the Eskimos' 15. We're tied at 3. Burris fires one over the middle, in and out of the arms of the intended receiver, Nick Lewis.
Another blitz look by Edmonton. They bring pressure up the middle, one-on-one. Jonte Buell makes up for the last play by stopping Nick Lewis on this one. But if I were Edmonton, I would not live and die by the one-on-one defense.
And that is Henry Burris' go-to guy over the middle, Nick Lewis. So it's now 3rd and 9. And that brings on DeAngelis for his 2nd field goal attempt of the game. This one will come from the 22. And didn't like the first one. He is good. So the Calgary Stampeders now with a 3-point lead on the Eskimos. 11-12 remaining to play in the second quarter. Maybe it's Signor Mobley. Maybe Copeland. Biggest offensive play of the game so far for the Stamps. The Eskimos first and 10 from the 35. The pass to Troy Davis. And Davis tripped up at the 40-yard line.
Brian Clark made a great play in running that play down. Misdirection by Edmonton Eskimos. Got everybody going to the right. Ricky Ray turns around, flips a little one to the left. Very similar to the shovel pass. Actually, I think it was a shovel pass. There was just no one to shovel the ball against, so he just threw it out there. You like it when a play comes together like that.
Isn't that all part of the Eskimos' dink and dunk offense?
That's it. These guys will do short passes here and there until they get the big one.
2nd and 7. Ricky Ray passing over the middle. Flags are down. He was looking for Gaylor. Gaylor got a piece of it. Ray throwing into coverage, but Gaylor was there.
Looks like Tiller was all over Gaylor. Ricky Ray, again, putting the ball where it needs to be put. The only thing that Tiller could do.
Pass interference. Calgary number 48. First down.
I don't know if I saw 48 on that play, but.
Well, Brian Clark doesn't think it was him either. That moves the ball to the 53-yard line of the Calgary Stampeders, where the Eskimos are now 1st and 10. They trail by 3 with just over 10 minutes to play in the second quarter on an absolutely perfect afternoon for football here at McMahon Stadium in Calgary. Ricky Ray out of the shotgun. What a play! Davis up the middle, down to the 35-yard line.
Tiller stops that play from being a touchdown. I mean, that was a great call. They spread the field out. Calgary was playing one-on-one defense. Almost fumble it coming through from the center exchange, and then Troy Davis does the rest. Great blocking up front. They use Calgary's aggressiveness on the front line against them. As you can see, Troy Davis has had some big years, 40,000-yard seasons.
1st and 10, Eskimos. Ray, complete, touchdown, Edmonton. Tucker.
Tucker is Ricky Ray's big play receiver. You see him go down the seam, make a beautiful catch, and even while he's catching it, he's making the move inside to elude the free safety. That easy. Touchdown Edmonton. When they do it right, they make it look so easy.
Sean Fleming for the convert.
And for Tucker, his 8th touchdown of the season. Fleming with the point after. And all of a sudden, just like that, the Eskimos with a 4-point lead on the Stamps, 10-6 in the second. His favorite target, Jason Tucker. Here it is.
Tucker is lined up at the number 2 receiver. He just goes up the seam. Everyone else clears it out for him. Calgary is playing much more man-to-man defense. All Ricky Ray is thinking about is making sure that safety can't make the play. As soon as he does it, it's lights out for Calgary. We all know Jason Tucker is the go-to guy. Over the last few years, you've seen it in the Grey Cups, you've seen it in regular season. This guy knows how to catch touchdowns.
Hey, that's it. Mike Geisler, Jalen Kendall, love you. Everybody at the ranch. Hey.
Cheaper than sending an email, Jason. This is Ruffin. 25, still on his feet. Battles his way up to the 30-yard line, where the Stampeders will take over 1st and 10 to try and answer that Eskimo touchdown. Ricky Ray gives to Troy Davis. Big hole up the middle. And then finds Jason Tucker. Tucker does what he does so well, makes the catch, and then finds the end zone, and that's where Edmonton is right now, 10-6 leaders over the Stampeders. 4 plays, 75 yards, and it took 2 minutes and 21 seconds. That's a good drive, resulting in what the Eskimos will say will be a big help to their confidence. 1st and 10 for the Stamps from the 30. Quick pass.
And reverse.
Right here, thank you.
Lead to Rambo.
Number 85, Ken
Calgary wants to switch the momentum. They went to twin tight ends on that play. Again, you see 2 teams with a whole lot of time on their hands before this game because they're using different formations on virtually every play. That means the coaches had a lot of time to scheme against each team.
A pickup of 6 on the last one, 2nd and 4 from the 36-yard line. Burris exercises the option, keeps it himself, and goes out of bounds at the 52-yard line. Perfect execution of the option play, Kahara.
Exactly. Henry Burris is definitely a weapon today. I love the fake that he did at the end. Most times when quarterbacks in this league run the option, you know they're going to pitch. Henry gives that little fake to the outside and then takes off. There's no one there. That's all it takes for everybody to go outside to Joffrey Reynolds. Henry's got a bunch of yards.
16 to be exact. It is now 1st and 10 Stampeders from their own 52. They trail by 4, 10-6 in the 2nd quarter. Burris over the middle, complete. Copeland.
It looks like Henry Burris and Copeland are getting that swagger back. I mean, these two have done some great things in the past. Last year, Copeland was his leading receiver. And if Edmonton continues to play this team in man defense, then this is what you're going to see today, because one-on-one, Copeland is one of the better receivers in this league.
A 14-yard gain makes it 1st and 10 Stampeders from the Eskimos 44.
And off to Joffrey
They give to Reynolds.
Darrell was ahead the board. He's finally subdued by Charles
Alston and Buell combining to make the tackle for the Eskimos. Pick up a 5.
Again, different look. They bring tight end package in, extra big bodies. You see 6, 7, 8 guys on the line, all just moving that line forward, giving Joffrey Reynolds a chance to get up the field and get positive yards.
6 receivers set. Burris from the shotgun. As time dumps it off, Lewis down just outside the 5-yard line. Dixon with a touchdown saving tackle because Lewis was on a roll.
Again, the crossing routes are really getting into the heads of the Edmonton Eskimos. When they're playing man, you see Jonte Buell trying to follow Nick Lewis across the field. Jonte Buell has to get through a bunch of mess. Linebackers, other things going on in there. He cannot follow a guy doing a crossing route. And Nick Lewis is one of the best in the league at getting across the middle and making something happen after he catches the football.
They spot the ball at the 7 where it's 1st and goal for the Stampeders. They give to the big man. Touchdown! Joffrey Reynolds, Stampeders.
What a beautiful drive to watch, and ending with Joffrey Reynolds plunging into the end zone untouched. I mean, Calgary showed everything that they could do on that drive. They threw it long, they threw it intermediate, they threw the crossing route, and Joffrey Reynolds ends it off.
And Sandro DeAngelos' point after is good. It is 13-10. Favor the Stampeders.
4th TD of the season for Joffrey Reynolds, and the scoring play, 6 plays, 80 yards, and consumed 3:44 on the clock. The Stampeders answering the Eskimos TD.
Nice play. It starts with a counter play with Tyler Robinson coming out in front. Ficklin is going to lead also, blocking. and that's what's going to lead to Joffrey Reynolds coming in untouched. Both of these guys got big blocks up front.
Tompkins still on his feet. Tompkins has some room. Tompkins, flags are down as Tompkins gets up close to the midfield stripe. A 76-yard kickoff following that touchdown and a 54-yard return for Tompkins, depending on what happens with the flags.
Unfortunately for the league this year, it seems like every time there's a big return, there are a bunch of orange flags out there, and that's the case of this play also.
On the run back, holding, Edmonton number 27. It's a 10-yard penalty, becomes first down.
Another penalty, another mistake that Danny Machocha will not like. That's what he wanted to eradicate in this second half of the season for the Eskimos.
And again, it goes to that field position battle. Now, the Edmonton Eskimos, to drive it down the field, they would need 12 or 15 plays to just get a touchdown. And that's the thing that hasn't been happening so far this year.
First and 10 Eskimos from the 19. Ricky Ray with time, completes the pass to Ed Hervey.
Ricky Ray throws for Ed Hervey, number 81.
One of the things I'm noticing is this Calgary team feels very good about their man-to-man coverage. In the past couple of years, they've been known primarily as a zone team. You see the one-on-one matchup, Hervey and Reinhardt? He's out on an island out there. Brian Clark comes to help late. But I think Edmonton is going to try to take advantage of that matchup.
Defensive coordinator for the Calgary Stampeders, Denny Crehan, watching as Ricky Ray and the Eskimos go to work and pick up the first down. Troy Davis making sure of that. Anthony there to make the stop.
Both offenses are executing very well right now. They're mixing it up. The one thing you want to have as an offense is the ability to mix it up, both running and passing, so the defense cannot key on any one particular thing.
Davis with a pickup of 6 yards. It's first and 10 Edmonton from their own 33. They trail 13-10. Davis again, a fumble picked up by the Stamps. This could go all the way. It does. Brian Clark, touchdown Calgary.
Momentum changer by Brian Clark. Cornelius Anthony was in on that hit, I believe. Oh, Brian Clark makes an outstanding play. He strips the ball, picks it up, and runs for the touchdown.
And the point after from DeAngelos is good, and the Stampeders have gone in front of the Eskimos 20-10 with just over 3 minutes to play in the second quarter. This one started a little slowly offensively for both teams, but it has certainly picked up offensive momentum in the last little while.
Brian Clark makes the triple play every defensive guy dreams about. Cornelius gets the first hit. Brian gets his hands in there, gets a hold of the ball. Even when it drops on the floor, he has the wherewithal to pick it up quickly, get to the end zone. Outstanding play by Brian Clark.
And we've got an injured Stampeder down on the field. Jay McNeil.
Yeah, you just stripped it. You stripped it too.
This kind of heat could be a case of cramps, perhaps. Or maybe just buying a little time.
I'll go for the latter, I think, you know?
Hey, Mom, Dad, Grandma, Grandpa, everybody.
I'm thinking that I'm going to see him in for the next offensive series.
Trying to get it now. We're trying to get it. Hey, watch the game now. Don't watch me.
Brian Clark, consummate professional. I mean, this guy knows his job and does it well. I had the opportunity to play with him in Winnipeg, and he was just a ball hawk. He's been that his whole career.
Hell yeah.
Sometimes he does it with interceptions, sometimes he does it with fumbles. But know that he is going to be around the ball, and he's going to know what everybody on the defense is supposed to be doing.
Missed a few games this season with an injury, but since he's returned, the Stamps have been on a roll. Craver tripped up at the 16-yard line. Ruffin downfield to make the tackle. Everything's working, including the special teams for the Stampeders. They lead 20-10.
Just listen to the music of the traffic in the city. Linger on the sidewalk.
20-10. Ricky Ray. Loose ball. Will it be ruled an incomplete? They're saying incomplete.
That could be close. I mean, that ball looked like it slipped out of Ricky Ray's hands. I don't know if his hand was moving forward or not, but he tried to bring that ball back from a pass. They had a safety blitz on. Wes Lysak is coming through the middle. You'll see here. Ricky Ray pulls that ball back. I think it was an incomplete pass, though. Refs look like they made the right call.
The arm was definitely moving forward.
Arm was moving forward. He did try to pull it back, but it slipped out moving forward. Incomplete pass.
So 2nd and 10 for the Eskimos. Ray firing incomplete. He was looking for Woodcock, but Woodcock was about 10 yards away from that ball.
And again, Ricky Ray ends up on the ground after he's thrown the ball. This Calgary Stampeder team is getting pressure on Ricky Ray. And Edmonton is going to have to find a way to combat against that.
Safe to say that Ricky Ray is going to field this one on Tuesday morning?
Oh, definitely, definitely. As a quarterback, you hate those types of games when you never get to see a completion or incompletion because you're on the ground.
One man back for Calgary, it's Marcus Howell.
John Fleming on the punt for the Eskimos. Marcus Howell at his own 50-yard line. Fleming, not exactly a boomer, taken by Howell. He crosses the midfield stripe and across the 50-yard line of the Eskimos. Doug, what have you got for us? Doug Dirks on the sidelines.
Steve, it's a little warm down here. Let's go all the way back to 1924 when the record temperature for this date was 30 degrees Celsius. We are rapidly approaching that temperature, and it could play a role as the game progresses. I spoke to Dan Kepley, linebacker coach with the Eskimos, before the game. He said that A.J. Gass would be running on adrenaline early, and that adrenaline could be running out as the game progresses, so we'll keep an eye on his situation.
Well, if it's 25 down there, it's about 35 here in the booth. And there is no air conditioning. There are no fans. We're hot. Joffrey Reynolds, a loss on the play. Braidwood and Alston teaming up to stop Reynolds on that one. A loss of 3.
Alston gets through on the line out on there. They try to go wide on that play, Calgary does, but Alston was not having it on that play. They need to get strong against this running game, because if Calgary is able to run the ball, then that's going to dictate everything else that they do and force Edmonton into a lot more man-to-man coverage.
2nd and 13 for Burris out of the shotgun from the 53. Burris has it picked off. Craver with the interception, still on his feet, still has running room. Craver with a great effort after the pick, moving all the way down to the 30-yard line.
K.U. Craver makes a great play. Edmonton Eskimos are in zone on this play, so that means K.U. Craver has a chance to read this route. I watched him all the way. He goes back into his zone coverage. He sees Henry Burris' eyes on him and decides to jump the route. You take a chance like that, it's either a big play one way or a big play for your team. and Kiyu Craver came up with the big play. This is exactly what the Edmonton Eskimos needed at this point in the ball game.
Burris was looking for Copeland and found Craver. Ricky Ray sacked. Back at the 40-yard line. Raheem Abdullah.
We saw this a couple of weeks ago against Saskatchewan. Raheem Abdullah coming in free on a quarterback. That is one of the worst things you can see if you're on the offense. Raheem Abdullah knows how to finish.
A loss of 7.
Shoulder pads and helmet right in Ricky Ray's sternum. Not a good situation.
It's now 2nd and 17 for the Eskimos from the Stamps 38. Ray has time. Ray's going to carry this one himself, and Ray will be close to the first down. Clark and Chevrier forcing Ray out of bounds.
You can see also how much Ricky Ray wants this game. Instead of just going out of bounds, you can see his thought process. He gets to the sidelines, gets flushed out, no one's open, decides to take it himself. It gets a good block up front by Mookie Mitchell. No, he doesn't take it out of bounds, tries to go for the first down. That just tells you how much both of these teams want this Labor Day game.
And Ray is short of the needed yardage for the first down. That'll bring on Sean Fleming. And this will come from the 32-yard line. And the kick is good. The Eskimos now trail the Stampeders 20-3. Welcome back to Calgary. 1:19 remaining to play till halftime. Henry Burris and the Stampeders offense go to work. They are 1st and 10 from their own 35 following that field goal from Sean Fleming, his second of the day. In and out of the arms of Kenyon Rambo. That was catchable.
Oh yeah, he's got to have that play. It looked like he had the wide eyes coming over the middle there. That's usually either Copeland or Nick Lewis taking that middle route. Kenyon Rambo had some space. My thing is, when I was a quarterback, I said, hey, you're gonna get hit anyway. Whether you catch it or whether you drop it, you might as well catch it and get the yards.
Rambo had a big game against the Alouettes last week, 4 receptions for 95 yards. 2nd and 10 for Calgary from their own 35. Burris under pressure, flushed out of the pocket, keeps it himself, and has the first down.
Henry Burris making it happen with his legs again. As a quarterback, that's like having a wild card out there, because Edmonton Eskimos did everything that the defense is supposed to do. They got pressure on the quarterback, they covered people downfield, but when you have a quarterback that's mobile like Henry Burris, he can take off, get the first down for you, keep the drive going.
1st and 10 after 46.
4 runs, 54 yards for Burris. Stamps now 1st and 10 from their own 46. Burris had a man open and just overthrew Kenyon Rambo. He couldn't fault Rambo on that one. The ball just wasn't there.
Not at all. 6 receiver set. Again, changing up the formations, play by play, giving Edmonton Eskimos new looks, new things to think about. They got the guy open that they wanted to. Henry Burris just put a little too much pepper on that ball. He showed what kind of arm he has on that play, and he's mad at himself, right? Right here, you see it.
2nd and 10, Stamps. Burris had the shotgun. Ball at the 46. Again, Burris forced to roll. He's going right, and he's not going to get away this time. He has to throw it away. Alston was in pursuit. A flag is down.
Roughing the passer. Charles Alston catches up to Henry Burris, but the refs felt that he gave him a little extra. Got to the sidelines.
Major foul. Roughing the passer. Edmonton 95, 15-yard penalty, first down.
The extra push at the end. The referees have made a conscious effort to protect the quarterbacks this year. I think after he threw the ball, just let him go. Calgary is punting the ball. That's such a judgment call.
Our spotter, the pride of Regina, Larry Mueller, says good acting on the part of Burris. In diving, we give him a 9, 9.5 on that one.
Most quarterbacks are good actors. You have to be back there.
1st and 10 for the Stamps from the Eskimos 49. They come out of that 6-receiver set, and it's complete to Nick Lewis.
Fans, please welcome
doing the 6-receiver set. This team just keeps mixing it up, Edmonton is a team that doesn't change out their linebackers too much. So what that means is they don't want to get linebackers in one-on-one situation with wide receivers. So you have a good idea that Edmonton is going to play zone instead of man if they keep their linebackers in the game.
49 seconds remaining to play in the second quarter here at McMahon. Stamps leading by a count of 20-13, and we have a challenge on the play and an injured Eskimo.
Edmonton is challenging the ruling that it was a completed forward pass.
Well, a challenge from Danny Machocha as Alston is getting attended to on the far side, just in front of the Eskimos bench.
Charles Alston just may be winded. I mean, he chased Henry Burris down on the play before. We go back to the completion. Looks like they may have an idea that this ball hit the ground before it got in his hands. Take a look again.
I think he had it, but did he have control?
I don't think he did. I think the ball hit the ground. He did not have control. He used the ground to get control of the ball, and it happened so quickly.
Well, he took it in the midsection, went down on his knee, but did he have control before the ball came loose?
And look at the hand that's on the ball. That's the thing that I was looking at the last play. The hand was underneath the ball. So even though everything bounced and it hit the ground, was his hand underneath the ball when he caught it? This is a tough call.
Well, Bud Steen has seen the angles that we have seen in the booth. The challenge from Danny Machocha. Another look.
Again, you look at the right hand.
I don't think he had control.
No, I think it came out of his right hand when he...
After review, the play as called on the field was correct. It's second down.
And what do we know? Like I was saying, the ball was under the... His hand was under the ball, and it's a completion.
So it's 2nd and 5 for the Stampeders from the Eskimos 44. Clock is running, 35 seconds to play, second quarter. Burris puts it up. Wow, that was a risky pass, but it worked. Elijah Thurman making the catch over Craver, but Craver was perfectly positioned.
Craver played that play beautifully. Henry Burris just put the ball where it needed to be, on the outside. In the Canadian Football League, that is one of the toughest throws to make, because you know you're throwing the ball 40 yards to maybe get 7 or 8 yards. And a lot of quarterbacks won't do that. Henry Burris has the arm to make that throw.
Clock is running, under 20 seconds. From the 35, another complete pass. Nick Lewis, and Lewis finally brought down outside the 15-yard line. Make that Thurman.
It's all about time management right now. They have 9 seconds left. Looks like one chance to go to the end zone before they try with the field goal if they don't make it.
9 seconds left on the clock till halftime here at McMahon Stadium. As Henry Burris talks to offensive coordinator Steve Barato. Do we have time for one more offensive play before we bring in Sandro DeAngelis must be the question that Burris is asking Barato, and what will that play be?
There was a bit of poor clock management on Henry Burris's part. They had 20 seconds before that last play. There's no way that it should have gone down to 9 seconds.
Twin tight ends, 1st and 10 from the 17. Burris out of the shotgun. Burris with time, lots of space in front of him, and Burris dives into the end zone.
Tell me that this guy is not pumped up to play football today. What a play by Henry Burris. He was not going to be denied getting in the end zone. I was thinking the clock was going to run out on him before he got out of bounds. Henry Burris makes a quick move, up in the air. Outstanding.
And the point after from Sandro DeAngelis is good. And the Stampeders now with a 27-13 lead. And that is the last play of this second quarter here at McMahon. But they're gonna say that they're gonna get one more play out. There's only 1 second remaining.
Decision making by Henry Burris so far has been just great. This guy's running when he needs to run, throwing when he needs to throw. Love to see good quarterback play.
And the Stampeders and Henry Burris are 4 for 4 inside the Eskimos' 20-yard line. They've come away with a couple of field goals and 2 touchdowns. That is production, and that's where the Stampeders stumbled in the earlier part of the season, once they got inside the 25-yard line.
Exactly. They were getting inside the 20-yard line, but they were just having little hiccups. Interception against Edmonton earlier in the year, just not putting the ball in the end zone. They seem to corrected that in a great way.
Short kick from the Stampeders. There was only 1 second remaining on the clock, so that should end what has been a pretty entertaining Labor Day Classic here at McMahon Stadium in Calgary as the Stamps and Eskimos head for the dressing rooms. The Stampeders are leading 27-13. Now down to the field level, and Doug Dirks with Tom Higgins.
Thanks, Steve. Well, big plays define these Labor Day games. What about the ones your team made in the first half?
They're enjoyable to watch, and you know what? Anything can happen in the CFL, so you know what? Labor Day usually has some quirky plays, and this is no different. Now, regroup, let's play the next 30 minutes, and so far, so good. I like how we've come out to play in the first half. Now we'll do it in the second half.
How about when you get into that scoring zone? Were you a little nervous seeing Henry dancing down by the goal line with 1 second left on the clock?
Well, we told him he had to deliver the ball quickly, and I said, now, was that clock going off in your head? You realize you scored with 1 second, and, you know, sometimes your playmakers just have to step up and make plays, and he did.
All right, thanks, Tom.
You're welcome.
All right, Steve.
Thank you, Doug. Great decision-making and great execution from Henry Burris, and the Stabs head to the room at halftime. Leaders 27-13. I'm sure there was more to it than simply play smart, guys. They're trailing 27-13, and once again, it was penalties that hurt Ricky Ray and the Edmonton Eskimos. And that's lack of discipline, so that's where the play smart comes in. And speaking of playing smart, Henry Burris, brilliant in that opening half here at McMahon Stadium.
Henry Burris is just on a roll. He is riding the wave right now. He had 2 great games against Montreal. He's coming back. He's doing everything he needs to do, even with the interception that he threw. He didn't let that bother him. He knows as a quarterback, those things are going to happen. You fight through the negative things, you fight through the mistakes, and you make things happen. And he's doing it both throwing the ball and with his feet.
I talked to Henry yesterday about his confidence, and he says not so much my confidence as the confidence of the rest of the team, certainly the offense in me. They're beginning to believe in what Henry can do. Second half underway here at McMahon. This will be taken at the 40-yard line. So the Eskimos will have pretty good field position thanks to that short kickoff from Sandro DeAngelis. Let's take a look at Ricky Ray's passing chart in that opening half.
Ricky Ray, not a bad half again, and it's sad to say this, but he's playing pretty well. He's doing the things he needs to. You see the two right and left, the short passes he's completing. He completed the long passes down to the right side. Look for that more, especially if Calgary is going to keep playing man-to-man defense.
1st and 10 for Ray out of the shotgun. The ball's at the 40. They give to Davis, and Davis gets up to the 41-yard line. A 1-yard pickup. Clark is there to make the stop. Clark chipping in for the Stamps with a touchdown in that opening half.
Brian Clark made a great play in that first half, changed the momentum of the game. You look at these two teams, and the difference between a 6-4 team and a 3-6 team is takeaways. Before this game began, Calgary was +11, Edmonton -11. That's always going to lead to a subpar record.
2nd and 9, Eskimos from the 41. Ray with time over the middle. Completes to Mookie Mitchell, and Mitchell up to the 50-yard line, close to the first down. Chapman is there to make the stop for the Stamps.
Mookie Mitchell has made a living of going over the middle. Remember, a few years ago, he caught 160 passes in Toronto, and most of those passes were crossing routes over the middle. Went for over 2,000 yards. He knows what to do after he gets the catch too. Gets low, goes for that first down.
It is 3rd down and short. Eskimos.
Just like another former Eskimo great, Terry Vaughn, it's the yards after the catch that are really impressive when you talk about Vaughn and Mitchell. 3rd and 1 for the Eskimos. Ricky Ray keeps, flag goes down.
Number 15, Ricky
he should
Ray
have the
on
first down.
Keeper. There is a flag down.
Usually that's an offsides on the defense when the flag goes down that quickly. Defense wants to intrude on that 1 yard they're supposed to give up.
Calgary, number 53. It's a 5-yard penalty. Becomes first down.
Raheem Abdullah, the guilty party that time.
And
that will give the Eskimos a first down.
It would be a big lift to the Edmonton Eskimos right now to go down the field, score some points, get momentum going in their favor to start the second half.
Well, as Elliot Friedman said with the panel, this could be a very, very important quarter for the Eskimos. Ray. Intercepted, Calgary. Tiller. He was looking for Mitchell, but he found Tiller.
Tiller makes an outstanding play. Covering Mookie Mitchell man-to-man. This is the same play that Jason Tucker scored on earlier in the game. But see, Mookie Mitchell coming across the field. Tiller just gets on his hip, reaches his hands out. It looks like he stops Mookie Mitchell's left hand from being able to go after that ball, and then makes a great play. I don't know why he couldn't get up and run that ball. No, didn't look like Mookie Mitchell touched him on the way down.
3rd pick of the year for Tiller. 1st and 10, Stamps from their own 40. Burris swings it out. That's Marcus Howell, brought down just shy of the 50-yard line. Let's take a look at Burris's passing chart in that first half.
You look at Burris in that first half, and it looked like he could do no wrong, except for the interception on the right side. Look, 3 for 3, 4 for 5. Those are the types of things you want to see short. He didn't connect with the long ball, but these guys are still getting yards after the catch, making the short ball into a long ball.
A gain of 8 on the last play. 2nd and 2 for the Stamps from the 48. Burris passing over the middle, complete to Elijah Thurman.
Burris backpedaling, makes the reception.
They only needed 2 yards for the first down. Dixon over there to make the tackle on Thurman.
Looks like it's going to be close. Thurman has got to know when he's running an under route like that, you have to at least get enough yards. If you need to, go 3 or 4 yards down the field so that if you have to come back to the ball, you still have the first down.
Today's cup sponsor is Apache Canada. They will generously
Inches
donate
shy
$100 for every point the
of a
station
first
scores.
down for the Stampeders. All right, Gahara, you're Tom Higgins. Third and less than a yard. You're leading 27-13 early in the third quarter. What do you do?
Oh, you just send Henry Burris up the middle, get this first down, keep that clock rolling, and just keep the momentum that they have. You know, I would tell this team not to do anything differently than they did in that first half.
And that's exactly what Henry Burris did, kept it himself, and has the first down.
You can see it's getting a little chippy in there. These guys, perennial rivals to each other, same province. These guys don't like each other very much, and it leads to a good Labor Day matchup. Stand Henry up a little bit. That's the only thing you worry about when a quarterback is taking quarterback sneak, that he gets stood up, guys get free shots on him.
Well, they spot the ball at the 51. Burris out of the shotgun. Stamps first and 10. They lead 27-13. Burris gets the pass away, complete to Thurman. And flags are down as Thurman is stopped at the 50-yard line.
If I were to guess on this one, I'd say illegal blocks downfield. That's supposed to be a little hitch screen, and he's supposed to catch behind the line. What happens when he catches it over the line? Guys are already blocking. Illegal block downfield would be my guess, but I've been wrong before.
Bud Steen. Here's the call.
Illegal interference. Calgary 82 blocking downfield before the ball was caught. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Hey, got one right. You look here, Nick Lewis starts blocking. Again, it's supposed to be a play that happens behind the line. Henry Burris leads him up the field a little bit. It becomes an illegal pick, illegal block downfield.
So that takes it back to the 41-yard line of the Stampeders, where Henry Burris is now facing a 1st and 20. Pitches to Howell, and Howell has no place to run around the left side.
Marcus Howell is the do-everything guy for this Calgary Stampeders team. You'll see him returning kicks. You'll see him coming out of the backfield. You'll see him catching passes downfield. He's even played defense and started at defensive back. This guy's just happy to be playing football and a big part of the Calgary offense.
2nd and 20 from the 41. Burris using his feet to get out of trouble. Burris loses the ball. It's a free ball, and the Eskimos may have recovered.
There will be a flag on the play. Henry Burris fumbled, recovered by an Eskimo who appeared to be out of bounds.
Dalton makes a big hit on that play, knocks the ball loose from Henry Burris. Now they have to sort out the penalty.
Illegal interference on a loose ball. Calgary 52. Edmonton recovered the ball. It becomes first down.
(27-13) the score. Favor the Stamps. 9:42 to play, third quarter.
Subway Dinner Theater presents.
To you that Henry Burris is not ordering pizzas. He's probably getting an earful for hanging on to the ball too long that time and not getting out of bounds.
The only thing about Henry Burris having a game like he is that you feel like you can do anything. You see Antico Dalton come from the other side of the field to run Henry Burris down. He's still looking to throw the ball, but you got to know these linemen and defensive ends are fast in the league right now. Antico Dalton makes an outstanding play. Not only take away the ball, but then to recover the fumble. And again, Henry Burris is going to have to still take what the defense gives him. He's had so much success rushing the ball so far that you feel like, hey, I'm Superman out here. I can do whatever I need to do.
I hope that's not a long-distance call. He's been on it quite a while. Buell is the injured Eskimo, and when they get him attended to, the Eskimos will take over 1st and 10 from the Stampeders' 49-yard line, thanks to that Dalton loose ball recovery.
Henry Burris on the phone on the sidelines. I'm sure the coach is telling him, hey, settle down a little bit. Just take what the defense gives you. You don't have to put it all on your shoulders.
September the 9th on Sports Saturday, track and field's ultimate prize on the line, a $1 million jackpot. It all comes down to this. Don't miss the exciting conclusion to the world's best track and field series, the Berlin Golden League, this Saturday, beginning at 1 o'clock Eastern on CBC. Don Whitman and Michael Smith will have the call for you on that one as they get Buell to his feet.
Hopefully it's not serious with Jonte Buell. As you see, he gets a block in the back, and that's where the penalty comes from. One of the linemen tried to keep him away from the football.
1st and 10, Edmonton.
So it's 1st and 10 for Ricky Ray and the Eskimos. They trail 27-13. Ray was looking. Gaylord incomplete. Coe was covering on the play.
This play, you see a full-out linebacker blitz. But one of the things that Calgary does a little differently, they'll drop a defensive end. So right where Ricky Ray was looking to throw that ball, Raheem Abdullah was right there. And that's why this ball wasn't complete. You see Raheem Abdullah patrolling the middle, making sure they can't throw those crossing routes on the blitz.
9:15 to play, 3rd quarter. 2nd and 10 Eskimos from the Stamps 49. Ray over the middle line. That time it's complete, no question about it, to Gaylord.
Again, Calgary stunts the linebackers, brings them. What that does, though, is opens a hole in the middle deep. Gaylord goes 10 to 15 yards, then makes this cut inside. No linebackers inside, just pitch and catch.
And this is a classic case of Ricky Ray taking what the defense will give him, not forcing the issue. 1st and 10 Eskimos from the Stamps 32. Little play action buys Ray some time. Ray under pressure, still on his feet. Now he's got some blocks. Ricky Ray has a man wide open. Touchdown, Eskimos, Gaylord.
Ricky Ray throws complete for an Eskimo touchdown, number 85.
Ricky Ray doing it all with his feet. I mean, this is a broken play. By all rights, this play should be over right here. Scott Coe misses him. He gets a few blocks going back. Ricky Ray with the wherewithal to say, hey, I got a guy wide open down the field. 2 guys. He could hit Troy Davis or Trevor Gaylord. Takes his pick. Touchdown, Edmonton Eskimos.
And a huge block there from Joe McGrath that made all that possible for Ricky Ray. Point after from Sean Fleming, and all of a sudden the Eskimos are back into this one. They trail 27-20, 7:57 to play, 3rd quarter.
The most talented athletes from around the world. How do you define world-class sport? Don't miss the CN International at the Spruce Meadows Masters, Sunday, September 10th.
Welcome back to McMahon Stadium, where the Eskimos have just scored and trail the Stampeders now by a touchdown.
You look at this play. This play is meant for Matthew DeBuck to get out into the flat. Cornelius Anthony does a great job of covering him, but then Ricky Ray does a better job of getting open, buying time, and finding Trevor Gaylord on the other side. It's just a broken play that worked out very well for Edmonton.
Ruffin at the 30. 35, gets out to about the 36, 37-yard line. Brought down by Garrett.
Hi, Mom. Love you, Mom.
Starts with the turnover. And there have been 17 points on turnovers in this game. Ricky Ray fighting man over the middle, making time, finding Trevor Gaylor for the touchdown.
And that has the Eskimos right back into this one. 27-20 is the score. Favor the Stampeders, who are now 1st and 10 from their own 36. They pitch to Reynolds. And Reynolds is tripped up and comes up shy of the 40-yard line. A.J. Gass over there to make the stop.
A.J. Gass is making his presence felt. He's had the first half to kind of get his legs under him. Remember what the speed of the game is like? Look to see A.J. Gass shooting through those holes, making plays, just like this one. They're going to need A.J. Gass in this second half. They're going to have to, if they have a chance of winning this game.
2nd and 8 Stampeders from the 39. 4 receivers wide right. And Burris finds one of them, Kenyon Rambo. Rambo across the 50-yard line. And that'll move the sticks. Garrett there to make the stop for the Eskimos.
Zone defense, Henry Burris back to basics, just making his read.
Gain of 11 for Rambo.
Kenyon Rambo gets open, hits him right where he's supposed to hit him. Yards after the catch for good measure. Very good play to get your rhythm back as a quarterback.
An 11-yard pickup. 4 receivers to the left side this time. 1st and 10, Stamps in the 50. They pitch to Reynolds. Reynolds gets 3 or 4 yards out of nothing on that play. LaRose and Gass teaming up to make the stop. Signor Mobley is mic'd up for us.
Hey, boy, it's going to be a long day, homeboy. It's going to be a long day. Keep up the pressure, D. Let's keep up the pressure now. Let's get a couple sacks back there. Get a couple sacks, dog. Get you some.
For local news, think global.
Burris from the shotgun finds his man, Elijah Thurman.
Henry Burris on target for number 84, Elijah Thurman.
You can tell Signor Mobley is a guy who loves playing the game of football. Loves the hitting, loves the action of it. That's why he's been out here so good for so long. You see Henry Burris getting back to a rhythm. Short passing game, 3-step drops, finding an open man and hitting him.
3rd down and 2, Calgary.
They need 2 yards to keep the drive alive. Now what do you do, coach?
You got the best running back in the game. You give him the ball, and you take your chances with that.
Burris keeps it. Flags go down. Not taking any chances on the exchange. Burris keeps it himself.
Looks like that whole right side. Robertson and Lenham came off early, unfortunately, especially on 3rd down.
Illegal procedure. Calgary line, 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
So they'll do it again.
Nobody was fit.
But this time, because they didn't get enough, Kirk Dales will come onto the field. Tom Higgins way out on the field of play.
There's no challenge available to Calgary on the play. It's 3rd down.
Higgins was looking to challenge, and you can't challenge.
Well, Higgins tried to throw the flag out there. That is an unchallengeable call. It looked like the referees got it right. They tried to go on a quick count, get Edmonton off balance. It backfired, and the Calgary line jumped.
Edmonton guilty of making mistakes. Now it looks as if the Stampeders are doing the same thing. 3rd and 7. Dales will get the punt away from his own 45-yard line. And it's a good high spiral punt. Mitchell. And Mitchell crosses the 15-yard line. So when Ricky Ray comes onto the field, the Eskimos will have Ticats. That's coming up immediately following our game here at McMahon Stadium in Calgary. The Eskimos down 27-20, 1st and 10 from their own 19. Ricky Ray rolling out and finding some time and complete to Tucker.
Ricky Ray's on
Tiller over to make the stop. 6-yard pickup.
Brought down by
if you're an Edmonton Eskimo fan, you have to like what you're seeing so far in this second half. I mean, they're moving the ball well. Defensively, they're playing Calgary very well, limiting the run. And Ricky Ray looks like he's on his game. He's not getting hit after every play, doing a good job.
I shortchanged the Eskimos on that one. It was an 11-yard gain. 1st and 10 now from the 30. Ray was going long. He had a man open, and he just overthrew Jason Tucker.
Again, the same play that Tucker scored on in the first half. They go back to it. This is one of Edmonton's bread and butter plays. They get Calgary in man-to-man coverage. Ricky Ray just throws it a little over his head because he did have a step on the defensive back.
So that makes it 2nd and 10 for the Eskimos, who trail by a touchdown from their own 30-yard line. Ricky Ray's stats on the afternoon. Ray puts it up, and it looks as if that may have been touched by the Stampeders. It was a lame duck after it left the hands of Ricky Ray.
I think Ricky Ray was touched on that play by a couple of guys. Anthony gets through, coming through the middle. They keep bringing those linebacker blitzes. And Anthony changes the flight path of that ball just by that hit.
Pretty tough to throw tight spirals when they're in your face like that.
Yeah. You're trying to complete a pass. Doesn't help.
Sean Fleming on to punt. Howell back to take this punt. Big high spiral from Fleming at the 20. Howell comes up short on the 35-yard line. So once again, Ricky Ray and the Eskimos are out. Burris is on.
When you look at this, I think Calgary sees something in this. Nick Lewis jumps over the front man, trying to get a block on that, and was very close.
A 61-yard punt for Fleming. That'll help the average. And a 14-yard return, giving the Stamps 1st and 10 from their own 34. Mike Maurer is down and about to get some treatment from the Eskimos training staff. Well, the one thing that's impressed Tom Higgins in this 3-game role is an unselfish offense. They've really come together as a unit.
They're very unselfish. We have offensive formations that actually sit some of those weapons, and then they say, that's fine. I know when I get my opportunity and I get to go in that Henry's doing a really good job of trying to spread the ball around. If you're open, he tries to throw you the ball. So work hard to get open, and they're very, very unselfish.
I think these guys, especially these wide receivers on the Calgary Stampeders, have bought into the system. I think early on, they were thinking about how many yards they can get, how many completions they can get. And then they look at the stats and see that, hey, all of us are kind of doing the same thing, but it's working. So let me run my route, do the things that I need to do, get the guy next to me open, because they know that next time the ball will come to them.
And this is how they've spread out that success.
I mean, you look at this. Nick Lewis, Copeland, you know those are going to be big guys, but Thurman, you got him from Saskatchewan. Tall receiver, guy that can make plays. Rambo, we saw last week. Then you put Howell in the mix, you put Allen. I mean, you have so many choices to choose from. The biggest thing was everybody buying into this system and saying, hey, we might not have the 1 or 2 guys that are tops in the league, but everybody is going to do their parts, and that way we can win and be successful.
And that is really the key. Everybody feels like they're contributing. They're a part of the success. And this 3-game winning streak really been an example of when a team comes together and plays as a team, especially on offense, you're going to get good results. And a big part of those results, back-to-back wins against the Alouettes. They ended the Als winning streak here in Calgary and then beat them back in Montreal. This is Reynolds. Reynolds still on his feet. What a great job by Joffrey Reynolds. Pretty much by himself.
What a run by Joffrey Reynolds. I mean, this guy, he did it all in this run. He showed just about everything that he can do besides running somebody over. This is the type of game he's had as a running back. You know, he gets to the outside, he uses a burst of speed to beat linebackers, to beat DBs. You see him getting into the middle, getting hit by the free safety and bouncing off. Inside, outside, whatever way you want to give this guy the ball, he will make it happen.
1st and 10, Stampeders. And that time, Reynolds was going nowhere. Spencer there to make sure that the gain was very limited. If anything, they may have lost a yard, which they did on the play, so they'll be 2nd and 11 from the 51.
That's the best way to get Joffrey Reynolds, get to him early, because if he gets his motor running, as we've seen in that packet, he can make it happen. Get to him early before he can make a move on you, and then you have a chance.
In those back-to-back wins over Montreal, well below his average. But he's on form this afternoon. 2nd and 11 steps from the 51. Burris out of the shotgun. Burris finding Rambo. Rambo still on his feet. Rambo knocked out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
Kenyon Rambo doing it yards after the catch. All of these guys on the Calgary Stampeders know what to do with the ball once they get it in their hands. Henry Burris throws it a little early before the defensive back has the time to even react. Breaks the first tackle of Senor Mobley and tacks on 10 to 15 more yards.
24-yard gain on the play. 1st and 10 Stampeders from the Eskimos 35. Reynolds tied up by 3 Eskimos.
Short game.
Led by Braidwood.
You talk about spreading it out. The Calgary Stampeders have hit 6 different receivers in this game. Everybody is getting a chance to perform. Henry Burris goes back. He doesn't look for a particular person. He says, let the defense dictate who I throw the ball to. They're all ready to catch it. They make it happen. Edmonton makes a good stop on this play, but they have to be able to do it on 2nd down, and they haven't so far.
The Eskimos calling for a timeout. Let the Stampeders think about this one. They're in a 2nd and 8 situation. They lead by 7, and there's just over 5 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter.
Looks like they did not have the right people in. They're trying to get the formation set. That's one of the advantages for an offense, for using different formations, using 6 receivers, using 3 tight ends. You can confuse the defense because they have to guard against all of that.
The experience of an A.J. Gass back in the Eskimos lineup certainly helping there. He saw something he didn't like, and the Eskimos called a timeout. 2nd and 8 Stampeders from the Eskimos 33-yard line. This could be the final play of the 3rd quarter. Burris out of the shotgun. Pass over the middle, and it was knocked down. May have hit his own man, but Brown was in there.
Robert Brown, number 94, got a hand up.
Not sure who Henry Burris was trying to throw that ball to.
Calgary.
When the blitz comes, they bring the free safety on that play. Henry Burris, unlike most other quarterbacks in this league, because he has such a big arm, he just keeps going back. He keeps dropping back, keeps buying time. Usually he's able to find his receiver, not this time.
LaRose and Mobley putting good pressure on the Stampeder quarterback that time. So it'll be a field goal attempt for Sandro DeAngelis from the 41-yard line. It's got the legs, and it's accurate. 30-20. Stampeders over the Eskimos.
Canadian football. CFL on TBC. Are you ready?
Another classic Labor Day battle here at McMahon Stadium in Calgary. The hometown Stampeders leading the Eskimos by 10. The Eskimos have possession. Here are the stats through 3 quarters.
Good third quarter for the Edmonton Eskimos. 161 yards for Calgary, still stands out as far as the yards rushing, only 63.
Ricky Ray under pressure and brought down.
Again, those linebackers are getting in the mix. Brian Clark comes through, Anthony, and the Pastek get the pressure on him and put him down. See Brian Clark forcing him inside. Cornelius Anthony is always moving in there. And the Pastek finishes it.
Loss of 4 on the play. It's now 2nd and 14 for Ricky Ray and the Eskimos from their own 31. Flags down, and the play.
Got off early because they're bringing so many people from the
Illegal
outside.
procedure. Edmonton, number 56, it's a 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
Bringing people from the outside, inside. Patrick Amongo just got a head start.
How much are they missing Dan Kaminsky right now?
I think they're missing him. As far as for stability in that line, you want a line that's played together for a long time, especially when you're playing the Calgary defense that does so many stunts, so many things up front like this team does.
2nd and 19, Edmonton. Big down. Pass over the middle to Mitchell. And Mitchell well short of the first down yardage.
Brian Clark on the stop, number 48.
So that'll bring on Sean Fleming and the punt team.
Again, a case where Ricky Ray just reads the defense, sees that they drop 8 people back. They're not going to give up anything deep. When they do that, you get it down to Mitchell, take what you can get, and punt the ball away.
Ricky Ray and the offense out, the punting unit in. Fleming will get this one away from his own 25. Marcus Howell set to receive. And a bad punt from Sean Fleming. It goes off the side of his foot. That's a shank, and that's putting it mildly. The Stamps lead 30-20, a 20-yard punt. Sean Fleming knows. Men averaging 41 yards per punt. That was a 20-yarder.
No, Sean Fleming is having a tough day punting the football. And you see here, no expert about punting, but this goes off the side of his foot. And especially in the 4th quarter, especially in a tight game like position is so important.
In golf, that's the S word. A shank. 1st and 10 for Burris from the 55-yard line. Little play action. Burris has got a man open. It's complete and a loose ball. Lewis had it. The Eskimos recover. Dixon. Eskimos lost it, but the whistle had blown that one dead. So Burris did his part. Lewis couldn't hang on.
Lewis, classic case of yards after the catch, trying to get more and more yards and just forgetting about the football. You see here, Nick Lewis makes a great catch in traffic, secures the ball at first, running away. Oh, gets a great hit from A.J. Gass. A.J. Gass is coming alive. He is the cause of that fumble. Again, you see it from this angle. A.J. Gass right in the ribs. I don't know who would have held on to that ball.
AJ, he's most effective when he does that, but he's down on the field right now. Remember, he missed 6 games with that hamstring. It looks a little bit more
and it is a lot to ask of a player after missing the whole, basically the whole season. He wasn't starting when he came into the season. He's playing primarily special teams. Then he had the hamstring injury. First game starting. He's playing virtually the whole game. Again, Jay Gass only knows how to play one speed, and that's full speed. You just hope it's not a shoulder or a head injury. He came in, formed tackle. But he's got to be tired. You know, first game back.
Join the Patrick Severy and Co. on Stephen Avenue.
well, that's a good sight for Eskimo fans. AJ Gass on his feet and walking off without assistance.
He's giving the smile like, hey, I'm okay, I'll be out there. The next time the defense is out there, very good sign.
Lachocha said having AJ back was huge. It's been one of his favorite targets this afternoon. Good combination there. Pick up a 24.
This is a carbon copy of the touchdown to Trevor Gaylor. Same type of play, except this is a shovel pass to Troy Davis. Calgary does a great job in covering the shovel pass. Ricky Ray buys time with his legs, finds Trevor Gaylor on the other side. Hey, that's just how you draw it up.
First and 10 Eskimos from the 53. Davis down inside the 50-yard line. Gaylor 4 receptions so far this afternoon, and that 1 touchdown.
Gaylor's having an outstanding game. He got a deep pass earlier in this game to get going. Trevor Gaylor is a big body out there, and as a quarterback, you love to see a big body at receiver because you know you can throw it anywhere around him. He can go get it and make you look good as a quarterback.
2nd and 6 Eskimos from the Stampeders 49-yard line. Edmonton down by 10, 30 to 20. Way out of the shotgun. Again, he puts it up. He wanted to go a lot further than that, but he was hit in the throwing motion, and Mitchell was placed perfectly to pull it down. But Ray was going long. He had Ed Hervey open. Look at this. Let's take a look at that again.
That is when you know things are going right as a quarterback. You get hit, the ball pops out, and your receiver is right there.
Make them know it for the defense.
Chapman hits Ricky Ray's hand. Fortunately for Edmonton, Mookie Mitchell was in the right place at the right time. Comes up with a completion.
Weird plays, different plays, a trademark of this Labor Day Classic, and that was one of them. And again, Ray
Incomplete pass,
passing.
And flags down, it looks like a couple of things.
Looked like Calgary had a free play on that one. Excuse me, Edmonton had a free play.
Patrick offside. Here's Bud Steen.
Offside, Calgary 93. Holding, Edmonton 58. Net 5 yards on the penalty. Repeat, first down.
Roundtree, the replacement for Comiskey, gets the Edmonton penalty.
Roundtree's head has to be spinning right now. You especially don't want to do this when they already have an offsides penalty against Calgary. You know you have a free play. You turn a positive into a negative really quickly.
First and 10 Eskimos from the 45. Ray completes it. Mitchell
Pass complete from
down to the 35-yard line. Williams over there to make the stop for the Stampeders.
Mookie Mitchell gets the screen pass to the left side. Again, this guy knows what to do with the ball once it's in his hands. He gets good blocking up front. You see Woodcock, you see Trevor Gaylor, giving him every chance to succeed on that play. Nice pickup.
A gain of 5. 2nd and 5 from the 35-yard line for Ricky Ray and the Eskimos. Ray going deep. And for one brief second, Mitchell was open. But Ray overthrew him. Tiller with good coverage on Mitchell.
Half roll by Edmonton Eskimos. Ricky Ray, that is one of his bread and butter plays. He loves throwing that corner route. Again, you saw Jason Tucker have success with it in the Grey Cup. Mookie Mitchell runs out, has a step on his man, just a little long.
Well, I like this call. There's 9:20 to play. Eskimos down by 10, 30 to 20, and they're going to go for the field goal from Sean Fleming. It'll be a 42-yard attempt. The kick is up, but flags go down.
It looked like Edmonton.
The legal procedure, Edmonton line, 5-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
Looked like Edmonton didn't get set before the snap came, and you have to be set for 1 second. So it looked like everybody snapped down, trying to get Calgary offsides, ended up backfiring on Edmonton Eskimos. Yep, you see the snap down, put their hands down too late, the snap comes. Good way to get a penalty.
So they move it back, and Fleming will now have to try from the 47 yards. Out. This one is short, taken by Ruffin. Ruffin still on his feet. And Ruffin forced out a play as he crossed the 40-yard line, gets up to around the 41-42. So Sean Fleming comes up short on the field goal attempt. When we come back, the Stamps will have the ball. 1st and 10 Stampeders from the 42-yard line. Burris with time. Completes. Nick Lewis. Gass is over there to make the stop.
Henry Burris has in his receiving core. Fumbles the ball in the previous drive. He goes right back to him. Believe me, he won't fumble it again. Makes the first guy miss. A.J. Gass right back in there, making the big hit.
2nd and 2.
What a return for A.J. Gass. He said the only thing he was worried about was being game fit. He stayed in shape, but I think he's answered that question. Reynolds, great effort, gets the first down for the Stampeders. Signor Mobley of the Eskimos wearing the mic. He's mic'd up.
Hey, I like that, big boy. I like that, big boy. That's right.
When you get hit by Signor Mobley, you know you've been hit. On the 55-yard line. Excellent fake, and they give it to game. Well set up by Burris.
Nice misdirection. They used Joffrey Reynolds to their advantage. I thought they did a great job of this in the last Montreal game. You know everybody's keyed on Joffrey Reynolds, so use him as a decoy. Fake the pitch out to him, give it underneath the lessee, and let him do the rest.
And that's enough to bring on the chains for a measurement. Buell, who's had a strong game for the Eskimos, down on the turf. And it is that close to a first down, the nose of the football.
Jonte Buell has had a busy day Calgary Stampeders were picking on him a little bit. They see him in man-to-man coverage and go at him. He made a couple of good plays, especially near the goal line, but I think he's just cramping up. Very hot day out there today, and he's been running, believe me.
The CFL on CBC, you've missed a good one. Henry Burris, done it all, passing and rushing. Ricky Ray with a couple of TD passes. One to his favorite target, Jason Tucker, his 8th of the season. But the points off the turnover, Eskimos 10, Calgary 7. But on the scoreboard where it counts the most, it's the Stamps up by 10, 30-20 with 6 minutes and 50 seconds remaining to play in the fourth quarter.
I feel like both of these teams are playing very good football, good solid football. The difference is Edmonton is making those little mistakes, the kind of mistakes that they made in the first 9 games that keep them from scoring. They cannot put the 10 and 12 play drives together because either they get a sack or they get a penalty at inopportune times.
For the 14th time in 15 years. Stadium, 35,744. And they have been entertained this afternoon by both teams, the Stamps and the Eskimos. Puts it up. Got a man open. Flag goes down. He was looking.
Did you see the play by Ficklin? I mean, this pounds and jumped over.
Edmonton.
Look at this again. That guy is an athlete. You don't see too many 250-pound guys. Not sure that I agree.
Tom Higgins compared it.
I played with Mike Sellers. I mean, if he has any comparable qualities to Mike Sellers, then that means he is on the right track as a football player.
Peters now 1st and 10. Burris buys time with the fake. He's going to keep it himself, and he trips up just shy of the 5-yard line. Had he not tripped, he was in.
In reverse, has got to be tired. I mean, heck, he saw that yellow line. For it, but like, but still had with his legs.
1st and goal to go from the 5-yard line for the to play 4th quarter. Calgary lead. It is now a 6 for Calgary.
Hey,
16 carries, 92 yards, and 2 trips to the end zone for Joffrey Reynolds.
Last time it was Taylor Robertson going left. This time he starts here, he goes right. He pushes the pile out. Joffrey Reynolds makes the move he needs to make and then does the rest himself.
DeAngelis on the kickoff. Craver. Good speed, still on his feet, and brought down the other side of the 25-yard line, where Ricky Ray and the Eskimos offense have to go to work, trailing by 17 points with 4:59 to play in the fourth quarter.
With this time remaining, expect Edmonton to go into the 3-minute offensive mode. That means calling everything from the line of scrimmage. Ricky Ray will still get the play from the sidelines, but everything has to be quickened up if they want to have a chance to score 3 more times, which they need to do.
From the 26, Ray completes the pass to Mitchell.
87 with the catch and run. Should be enough for an Edmonton first down.
Mitchell's had a good afternoon for the Eskimos. And they are going with that hurry-up offense.
For the Calgary defense, their basic thing is do not let Edmonton score quick. I think you'll see more zone coverage, more people back.
Mitchell again. And Mitchell comes up just shy of the midfield stripe. Reinhardt is there to make the tackle for Calgary.
Exactly. You saw all the people back. Raheem Abdullah was actually covering Mookie Mitchell on this play. And that is pretty much a mismatch. When you get Mookie Mitchell on a D end, you expect Mookie Mitchell to win this battle, which he does.
9 catches for 97 yards for Mookie Mitchell. 1st and 10 Eskimos from the 54. Ray, lots of time, nobody open. Ray still has it, still looking. He'll go himself. And that was a lot of work to get the first down. Abdullah pushes him out of play. Flags are down.
Ricky Ray came to play football today.
Major foul.
And Raheem Abdullah.
Unnecessary roughness. Calgary 42. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Is the injured Stampeder.
We have 2 magicians out here. Ricky Ray making things happen with his feet. Add insult to injury, gets the penalty at the end of the play. And I'm not sure that was a penalty, folks. I think he started tackling him inbounds and everything just led out of bounds. I mean, you have to let these guys play. When he touched him, when he went to tackle him, he was still in bounds.
Raheem Abdullah getting attention from Pat Clayton.
Every yard counts program to each
The Abdullah brothers involved in that last sequence for the Stampeders. It was Khalid who picked up the penalty, and Raheem, who is injured. Looks like he's favoring his right shoulder.
Raheem should be tired right now. I mean, this guy, they're asking him to do everything on the defensive side. As you remember the play before, he was covering Mookie Mitchell one-on-one. Then he's rushing the quarterback, and with Ricky Ray moving around like that, there's bound to be something happen when you're a 260-pound guy asked to do everything.
Don't forget the second half of our doubleheader today. Another Labor Day classic. Damon Allen warming up for the Toronto Argonauts. They're at Ivor Wynne in Hamilton to take on the Ticats. What a year Damon Allen is having in search of becoming the all-time leading passer in professional football. 1st and 10 for the Eskimos from the 31. And Ricky Ray is taken down by Anthony.
Again, full out blitz by Calgary Stampeders. They bring all their linebackers, and these guys are young. Their motors just do not stop. Cornelius Anthony is having a whale of a game.
Holding. Edmonton number 56. Penalty is declined. It's second down.
The bongo, the guilty party.
And they have been at Ricky Ray all game long. I mean, these guys, if they're not doing it with their front line, Raheem Abdullah, they're doing it with Anthony. They're doing it with Brian Clark. They're bringing loads and loads of different looks to him.
2nd and 16, Eskimos. They don't get the play off. The flag is down. And once again, no love lost between these two teams, especially on this day, the Labor Day Classic here at McMahon. These two teams will do it again on Friday night in the return match at Commonwealth Stadium.
Illegal procedure. Edmonton 56. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Patrick Kabongo again, getting off quickly. Calgary's defensive front and linebackers are giving Edmonton nightmares right now, showing them different looks coming out and going with them.
2nd and 21 from the 42. Ricky Ray dumps it off to Davis. Davis crashes over the 30-yard line as only Davis can. Brian Clark doing all he can to bring it down. 37-20, time running out on the Eskimos here in Calgary. Field goal situation for the Eskimos. Sean Flum missed the last one. 37-yarder. And this time he's perfect. So 3 more points on the board for the Eskimos, and points are important. It is now 37-23, favor Calgary. Now let's revisit the Rona game notes from Harry Jones at the beginning of this game.
Go to the Calgary offense, decisions. Henry Burris has made the right decision time and time again this game. 236 passing yards, 88 rushing yards, and a touchdown, great decisions. And the A-team. Anthony has came up big this game. 2 quarterback sacks. The Stamps D as a whole, 5 sacks, 1 fumble recovered for a touchdown. Played great football so far.
Not bad for your first set of Rona game notes.
I'll take it.
Run the ball down the line. Come on,
1st and 10, Stampeders from the 35-yard line, following the Eskimos field goal. Joffrey Reynolds going nowhere that time. Running into the arms of Frank.
Back to the line.
These guys just want to run off as much time on the clock as they can. Use the time to their advantage right now. Calgary Stampeders are in control of this game. If they can get a few first downs,
Not allowed to touch the football, guys. Reset the 20. Hey, Henry, use the 20. Use the 20. Use the 20.
You heard it. They're telling Henry to use 20. Burris from the shotgun. From the 36-yard line. 2nd and 9. Just swings it out to Reynolds. Reynolds, 1 man to beat. Make that Cates. 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 Make that Cates.
is an offense working on all cylinders right now. This Calgary offense is doing whatever it wants to do. A simple screen pass out to Wes Cates turns into a 74-yard touchdown. I think he got tired celebrating.
Was it the run or the celebration after the run?
You know, these Calgary guys choreograph everything. So he did a little wrestling right there. You got counted it out. I think he's counted it out for real. Look at this. We go back to the play. Just a screen pass. Something safe, something that's going to keep the clock running, but he gets blocks. He makes one guy miss. Dixon is out there. Misses the tackle. West Cates does the rest. Calgary is high on West Cates. They give a few different things than Joffrey Reynolds. And as you see, gives them that big play ability.
How would you score this celebration?
You know, I like the Bob's a lot. Like when they all took the drink, got a little tipsy. I'd have to work on it a little bit.
Hey, you're right. Hey, that is where they hurt.
Oh, yeah. You get three guys down on the ground on you.
the point after attempt. It's good. The Stamps now in front of the Eskimos, 44 to 23. Reynolds they are now two backs in the league. Would doubt this one.
Oh, yeah. He's making big argument. For that, you know, when it was it's like this.
Well, he might get a few votes this afternoon for his performance. Craig crosses the 30-yard line.
After 62-yard kickoff. How about a big cheer for Glenn?
Go to the game notes for Edmonton on offense. City of Troy, not so much. 41 yards rushing, only 5 in the second half. I know they're behind, but Troy still has to be a part of what they do. And defense, don't gamble with your future. Well, they did gamble, and they lost the game today. 6 plays over 20 yards. You cannot have that
Eskimos. Places first pass. Johnson came in having a 10, completed 8 for 80%.
Johnson had a lot of time in the years that he's been there. Because of Ricky Ray. When things go bad, they just go bad for you. You complete first pass to Pat Woodcock. They get a hold penalty. Stampeders being looked at. Clark. Whale of a game.